Welcome to the Building Doors Podcast, where we're not just pushing for opportunities for women's voices to be heard, we're creating them. I'm Christy Harst, voiceover actor and creator of the Building Doors campaign. Join us as we amplify voices, break barriers, and build doors together.
Hey, I'm Leanna Bdewi, and I'm a door builder in the Building Doors campaign. I have always loved performing. I've always loved storytelling, and I've always loved creating funny, kooky characters. So my path to voiceover was already somewhat in line with what I was doing and what I wanted to pursue. I grew up in Montreal, and after high school, I attended Dawson College's professional theater program for 3 years, where we studied predominantly classical theater, Shakespeare, Chekhov, Ibsen, all that fun stuff. So once I graduated my program, I got into the Randolph Conservatory in Toronto for musical theater. And I spent 2 years, summers included, where we were singing, acting, dancing, doing plays, doing musicals. And I had so much fun in those 2 years. So when I graduated at the ripe age of 22, I felt invincible. I was ready to take on the world. I was ready to get an agent. I was ready to get seen. I had demo reels in place. I had monologues and songs ready to go. And after a few months of submitting to different agencies and going to a bunch of open calls and auditions, I really started to feel discouraged. And I started to ask myself, do I have to pivot? Is this the right direction that I need to go in? What can I do in order to perform and be creative? And while I was in school, I had a teacher who had said to me, Liana, you speak a bunch of different languages. I'm fluent in English, French, and Armenian. And she was like, you should look into voiceover. This might be an avenue for you that maybe you haven't quite explored yet. And I didn't quite think much of it at the time because I was like, no, I want to be in musicals and I want to be on stage. But about 4 months after graduating, I said, let me give this a try. So I found a beginner's commercial voiceover class that was happening in Toronto at the time. And I signed up and I loved it. I still remember to this day the feeling I felt when I left that first full day of the workshop, because it was a 2-day thing. And I was sitting on the streetcar thinking to myself, I think I found the thing that I want to do forever that is really going to feed me creatively and that I'm good at, and that people are telling me that I'm good at it. Because even though I was getting positive feedback from casting directors for musical theater and for classical theater, I wasn't getting those opportunities. I wasn't getting those jobs. So to take a workshop for voiceover, something that I've never done before, and to have such positive feedback from these coaches was so validating. So I immediately signed up for another workshop and then a private coaching, and then I recorded a commercial demo. And once I had recorded my commercial demo, I was like, this is it. I'm ready to go. The next step was to find representation, which I had a lot of trouble with. So I spoke to my coach and she redirected me to agencies I had never even heard of because, again, I was so used to applying to film and TV agents that I didn't even know that there were agencies that just rep voice talent. And so I went and I had my meeting and I signed with her pretty much right away. And I'm still with her, Tanya Buchanan at Tada VoiceWorks. And she has been so pivotal in my growth as an artist. Once I got signed, that's when I really got introduced to the world of voiceover, the community that is international and so welcoming and so lovely. I started to experiment to see what genre is right for me. What kind of niche do I fit into? Initially, I really wanted to do animation only. But I later discovered that I really like commercial work. So most of the genres that I now work in predominantly and specialize in are commercial, animation, video games, and promo, and a couple of corporate jobs here and there. And the reason why I really love working in these genres is because I get to play. I get to really use my acting chops to give different options to the client to help them maybe hear the script in a way that they maybe hadn't even considered. I'm also so grateful for all my agents for helping me build my career and my portfolio over the last 10 years. I've had awesome audition opportunities and bookings and voicing for major brands that really pushed me as a performer and got me to where I am today. But I still have some dream clients that I would love to work with, predominantly in the animation space. Pixar, DreamWorks, Sony, Adult Swim. Oh, I love Adult Swim. If I could be on a show like Bob's Burgers, that would be the dream. And on the commercial side of things, I would really love to work with more tech brands. I've done it before in my career, and I always have so much fun recording for these spots because they're fun, they're well-written, they're funny, and I really get to use my acting chops to bring these stories to life. A note that I often get from clients is that my voice is really conversational, really friendly, really crisp. And I have to thank my theater training for that because they definitely taught us how to enunciate. And I also have to thank my mother, who would scold me as a child, up until I was in high school, to always enunciate all of my words so that everybody can understand you. Thank you, Mom. When it comes to the actual scripts, I always look at a script like sheet music. I always look at it from a musical perspective, and I really try to hear the spot before I say it. I wouldn't call myself a professional musician by any means, but I am a trained singer. I do know how to read sheet music, but only enough to get by. Don't ask me to sight read because I cannot do that. So when I look at a script, I first think about pitch. Then I think about dynamics and then breath. Where in the text can I have a breath? Will it be a full breath? Is it going to be a catch breath? Is it the end of a sentence or a thought? Or is it just to enhance the next thought? Then I try to think, is there anywhere that is going to be more staccato, more legato? What's the tempo? Does the tempo change at any point in the script? Once I kind of have an idea of that, I read the script naturally, how I would instinctively read the script, and try to assign that musical terminology to my instinctual read. That way, when I give a second take, I can take that instinctual read with all of the musical notes that I've put in there and swap it and change it into something else. And thinking of it in musical terms just really helps me see maybe what I missed in the first read, what can be highlighted, what can be emphasized. And I found that by dissecting the script in this way and performing it with this in mind really helps me connect to the script, and then it connects to the listener. I did a live directed session a few weeks ago, and the client kind of started talking in musical terms, and I looked at her and I was like, you are speaking my language. Tell me what I need to do. And it was such a rewarding exchange because I was able to really communicate clearly with the client exactly what they were looking for in the read. And after we had that discussion, I got the take right away, and she was like, perfect, we're done. And when I get feedback like that, or when the first take is great and the client's like, that was amazing, one take wonder, maybe we should just do a couple for safety. Or at the end of a session, I hear, you made this so easy for us. That is the best feedback I can receive, because that means that I'm on the right path and I'm able to be of service to my clients in a way that alleviates any type of stress for them when it comes to recording the voiceover for their projects. And to bring it back to my gratitude for my acting training, I think this is what really influences my voiceover style. Because I'm coming from classical theater and then musical theater, I'm able to blend these two different mediums of performance and then bring it to the voice. Now, the transition period was definitely a little clunky because when you're so used to playing to the back of the house, and then all of a sudden you have a mic that's right in front of you and you just have to trust that the mic's going to catch all the nuance. It's going to catch all of that beautiful warmth of the voice without having to push. That was definitely part of the challenge when I started to do this more full time. But overall, it has made me a better performer for stage, for voice, and for film. Now, before we wrap up, I'm going to share 2 fun facts about me. I am also a puppeteer. I work with mostly Muppet-style puppets. Think Avenue Q, think Sesame Street. I do puppetry for theater and for film and TV. It is so much fun and it is so rewarding, and I will always jump on a puppetry project when it comes my way. And I am also obsessed with houseplants. This obsession started during the pandemic. Well, it started before the pandemic, but it just got heightened during the pandemic. At some point, I had about 150 plants in my 650 square foot apartment, which included the balcony. So I had a bunch of different tropical plants, I had trees, I had vegetables on the garden, and I really just dove into that houseplant world. And let me tell you, the people of the plant world are so awesome. So if you're looking for a new hobby, I highly recommend getting into the world of houseplants. And if I could recommend any type of plants, I always recommend a vining plant because they are very forgiving. And if they start to die, give it a little trim and plant those trimmings back in the soil, and then you'll have a new plant altogether. I would recommend any type of pothos. They come in so many different varieties, so many different colors. Any type of philodendron, same deal, so many types, so many colors. Or if you're looking for something a little bit bigger and more majestic, I would recommend any type of monstera. And finally, if my voice were a brand, what would it be known for? I think it would be known for versatility. I can speak a couple languages and do some cool accents. Definitely comedy as well. I got some improv in my back pocket ready to go. But I can also drop into the dramatic when needed. So all in all, I think my voice would be known for being conversational, friendly, a little sarcastic, cool, maybe a little edgy, and just like a lot of fun, and also always ready to play. Thanks for checking out my Building Doors podcast episode and for your support of the campaign. If you'd like to work together, you can email me at Liana@liannabdewi.com and visit my website at www.liannabdewi.com to hear more of my work.
Thanks for listening to the Building Doors podcast. Want to hear more? Check out all our episodes at buildingdoorsvo.com/podcast and follow us on Instagram and LinkedIn at Building Doors VO. We'd love to hear from you, so call us on our 24/7 hotline at 216-307-1917 and leave us a voicemail with your thoughts. Do you want to support the podcast? Well, we love coffee. Buy us a cup through the link in the description or at buildingdoorsvo.com. Until next time, keep pushing forward, keep speaking up, and let's keep building doors together.